A hilarious new stand-up special from comedy legend Jim Gaffigan, The Skinny, is coming to Hulu November 22nd. This Thanksgiving, see Jim in a whole new light as he gives you the inside scoop on everything from parenting teenagers to weight loss and gaslighting family members. For everyone in need of a happy hour, the new hilarious stand-up special, Jim Gaffigan, The Skinny, premieres November 22nd, streaming on Hulu.
Kroger Delivery has one mission: to deliver the freshest food right to your door. That's why our drivers are pros. Our trucks are refrigerated. And when it comes to low prices, we always deliver. With $20 off your first order of $75 or more, there's no better time to get in on the action. Mission accomplished. Restrictions apply. See site for details.
Ask me, ask Iliza anything. It's time to ask. Ask me all your questions. Leave them in the Instagram comment section. Leave them on your Twitter or leave them on your Facebook. We'll see them, we'll read them, then we'll give you answers. You know it, I've got it. I've got the answer, the answer. You ask me, I'll tell you anything.
You know what we're not going to do is we're not going to talk about what happened at the Oscars.
No.
You want to know why? Because anything that you say can and will be held against you in a social court. And two, it'll be hamster cage lining news by the time this comes out today, which is a Wednesday. So I don't know. I also feel like when people ask you for your hot take, they're just doing it to like hopefully get you in trouble too.
Yeah. Anything else isn't fun. They don't want a boring take. It's like when they ask acclaimed directors, what do you think of Marvel movies? They want them to be like, I hate them.
It's all anyone wants is for you to say just enough to hang yourself publicly. I'm also completely over, as a woman, even though this had nothing to do with women, being held accountable for other women. Like, just because you're Black doesn't mean you have to have an answer or a hot take. Just because you're an actor or a comedian. And if you looked around the room when that happened, people were like, we're not sure how to take this. Was this okay? Was it not? I mean, the answer is no, you can't hit anyone. But I just think about like interviews, like the beginning of my career, where it would be like, this woman did something. What do you think about her doing that? And I'm like, you just want me to say, I think she's a bitch. That's all anyone wants. You can hear in journalist voice when you're like, oh my God, you know, she's so great. I love her. They're like, okay, great. Moving on.
Right. They want like when singers say, I don't know who Ariana Grande is or whatever.
That's what they want. Do I believe that Mariah Carey doesn't know? Yes. But it's just kind of like, I don't know. You guys just want us all to rip each other to pieces so you can have 3 more clicks. Anyways, you guys got questions. We got answers. Thank you for bearing with us while we took a quick little break last week. I don't think we've ever taken a break.
Never. That was the only week that we have ever taken off. We've always had episodes prepped for holidays plus extra episodes when we've done bonuses. And this was really threw people into a tailspin. And I was like, all right.
Or when I've given birth, like through that.
I don't think we've missed a single other week.
I'm telling you, Emily, there is no reward given for consistency other than people not noticing. That being said, I don't think anyone had a problem with it. You're saying they did?
I mean, not a problem, but it just people were like, what's going on? Is everything okay? Because you had said there's a new home. So they're like, does that mean that all of the places I listen, I can't listen anymore? Is it gone from then? I'm like, no.
Sorry.
No.
In my endless effort to make what I'm doing seem like a bigger deal than it is, we're simply moving networks. You can still get all your delicious podcasts at your local library or through some sort of gifting, however you do it.
Right. We're not like a Spotify exclusive now.
Thanks, Emily.
Nobody likes that. People get mad when that happens.
Okay, cool. Yeah,
that was the concern. And
basically,
we're not doing that.
I should have said nothing, and you would have just continued to enjoy this. So we're going to finish that onboarding, and we'll find a new home. We're onboarding, aren't we?
I am onboarding. They're very nice, though, so it'll be fine.
All right. Well, you guys have questions, and we've got answers, and I'm back from the road for a little bit before I go back out, such as my life. And I'm ready. And I'm ready for love. Kick it.
Hello, AIA crew. What do you do when your friend wants to talk to you but drops little hints so you have to initiate contact?
What?
Context. This friend of 12 years has always had a fear of people leaving her. So she always says, I go cold on people before people have a chance to. She's not good at making friends and loses the few she makes. This never affected me because we were close friends. She was always fun to hang with, and I was her bridesmaid. We have been long-distance friends for 6 years now. Our calls are getting fewer and farther in between. She dominates calls with complaints and petty shit, but we text still, mostly just to say hi. We just don't share anything mutual anymore. Problem. She texted me saying she had surgery on a non-cancerous tumor. She is well now. I texted her to say if she was comfortable talking about, she should call me. She texted me some more details about it and said thanks. I feel like she expects a phone call from me, which I would for sure do because I'm worried about her. But this, I need attention without actually saying it, feels manipulative. This isn't the first time she created expectations of me calling her. If I don't call her, she never calls me. Sorry for the long messages. I write this. I know I'll call her, but with a little bit of ick in my heart.
I don't know. It sounds like this person has a bad personality and that's why people ghost on her. Real quick, there's a spider on my wall, but I'm going to leave that spider. And I hope in leaving them, they will eat bugs and protect my home. This episode brought to you by fostering a spider. Your friend sounds annoying. And here's the other thing. When you really love someone, you're okay with being the one who calls. Michelle almost never calls me. And I am like fine with that because I'm like, I don't care. I would never look pathetic if I called her once a week. I don't care if there's an imbalance because there's a history there and a love there. And so there's like an ego at stake here with you and your friend. You should either care or not care. The idea is that you love each other so much that you're calling and you know that's kind of her weird weakness. So she just sounds super insecure and I think you don't really want to be friends with her anymore. That sounds like you're thinking too much on this. It should be you don't call and it's bothering her, but now you're getting sucked into it. And also with the surgery, she probably didn't want to complain, but just stop calling her. You can put your both out of your misery. Just stop calling her. She'll go and she'll never call you.
Right, but it sounds like she wants to talk to her. So if you're fine with that imbalance, it's fine.
Here's a question. Do you actually want to talk or is it just what was always done? I have a friend who did something really weird in my life and I just stopped calling. And I think she was so embarrassed that she just never called me. And then I remember she reached out and never mentioned any of the things she had done and had a friend reach out to me a year later to be like, hey, it's her birthday. Did you want to do something? I'm like, we haven't spoken in a year. I think some people are just very weird and have weird social anxieties. And you clearly don't have a reason to be friends with this girl anymore. So just do it on your terms. Text her when you feel like it. Call when you feel like it. But this weird tit for tat quid pro quo is not healthy. This is weird, right?
Yeah, no, I mean.
Whatever. You're staring at me, trying to help this girl.
Because the little hamster wheels in my head were going, figuring out who it was, and I think I figured it out, who you were talking about.
It's always the same friend. So you don't want to be friends with this girl anymore. It's a leftover habit. You have nothing in common anymore. You're done. So she can either get on board or kick rocks.
Okay, I have a really specific question for you. Hi, Iliza and crew. My friends and I just saw you in Green Bay, Wisconsin. WI.
Yes, that is Wisconsin.
Last night and loved the show. We were all wondering if one of your mics went out, if that was scripted or not, because you played it off so well. Can't wait to see you again. Your live shows are the bomb.
They are. Thank you. And it's called Being a Professional. And I'm glad that somebody mentioned this. Both of the mics died while I was on. I promise you that's never scripted. There's no script other than the words that you're saying. But if I didn't plan for those mics to go out. And I didn't snap at the crowd. I said, only time in my career both mics have failed, Green Bay. I meant to say it to the crew and to the venue because it was a really big, nice venue. It was an arena. So I meant it come on, guys. What have we been doing all day with these mic checks? But it came off like I was mad at the city. And I think I heard someone boo me. I don't know. Wasn't. It's just me being a professional and what you get after doing comedy for 17 years. But no, it is up there with some of your nightmares is having your mic die.
So how did it get
it just came back online. It just did. I don't know. It's this weird thing where your stage manager goes, you pay this person to do sound check and sound check and sound check. And then you get to it on the day and they just don't, this is not Green Bay, but they don't play your music right or they miss a lighting cue. Things just go wrong. It's live theater. So it's definitely not embarrassing. I'm like, look, this is the venue. It's not me making it go bad, but promise you, my little cheesehead, it was not scripted.
You just pulled it off.
Actually, oh my God, that's so embarrassing. Hey, should I answer this call from Global Telscreening from Compton, California? That seems legit.
My dad answers all spam calls and then just doesn't say anything because then the robot doesn't hear a voice and gives up. So he just answers it and sits there silently and waits a minute.
My stepdad, growing up before everything had become unholy and horrible, and when it was a little bit safer to own a phone, my stepdad would answer these calls and he would give them the time of day. No, thank you so much. Please take me off your list. Okay, bye-bye. And I was like, tell him to eat shit, Randy. He wouldn't do that. I would also never tell him to eat shit. I would just be like, take me off your list. This is harassment. But we have an exciting offer.
They always do have an exciting offer, or it's just someone speaking Chinese.
I was going to say, the other day, some woman left a message in Spanish. And so I sent it to my best friend and I was like, can you tell me what they're saying? And it was a message for someone else. And she had called the wrong number. If you've genuinely called the wrong number and left me a message, I will always call you back. And so I texted her back in Spanish and I had it translated. And I was like, so sorry, you have the wrong number. And the woman never said gracias. I just thought that was not cool.
Maybe she was like, oh, okay, well, good. She didn't know that you went to all the effort of translating. She just thought you replied.
We could have had something. I used the usted form, so clearly I knew what I was talking about.
This show is sponsored by BetterHelp. I know being thankful is on everyone's minds, and with thankfulness comes gratitude, a concept that honestly really bothers me. I'm tired of thanking everyone else. You know who deserves a thank you? Me. You deserve a thank you. When's the last time you thanked yourself? Sometimes it's hard to remind ourselves that we are doing the absolute best we can. So here I am reminding you to send some thanks to the people in your life, but mostly send some thanks to yourself. And a great way to do that is with therapy. If you're thinking of starting therapy, give BetterHelp a try. It's entirely online. It's designed to be convenient, flexible, and it's suited to your schedule. Just fill out a brief questionnaire and you get matched with a licensed therapist, and you can switch therapists at any time, no additional charge. You don't have to travel anywhere. They take the hassle out of finding that perfect therapist. Let the gratitude flow with BetterHelp. Visit betterhelp.com/Iliza today to get 10% off your first month. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/Iliza. Fall has fallen. Winter is on its way. The days are shorter. But just because, they feel shorter. And just because the days feel shorter doesn't mean your to-do list gets any shorter. You still have to power through your busy days. And a great way to do that is with nutritious food from Factor's no prep, no mess meals. At the end of a short day in the fall or the winter, the last thing you want to do is have to cook. Factor has got you covered from breakfast, snacks, dinner, anything in between. Factor has easy, nutritious options to keep you fueled, like their chicken Florentine with spinach and garlic chili cauliflower. You bet. That's what I want to make myself at the end of a day where I am exhausted and my husband isn't home. Whether you like routine or you enjoy mixing things up, Factor has you covered with 35 different delicious meals every week and over 60 additional convenience options you can add on, like keto cookies, pressed juices, and smoothies. And because Factor meals are chef prepared and dietitian approved, you're going to love not only Factor's meals taste, but also how they support your goals, even if your goal was just making yourself dinner. Head to factormeals.com/Iliza50 and use code Iliza50 to get 50% off your first box and 20% off your next month. That's code Iliza50 at factormeals.com/Iliza50 to get 50% off your first box plus 20% off your next month while your subscription is active. The holidays are here. And for a lot of us, the holidays mean decorating, hosting, celebrating. For me, it means a lot of traveling, and nothing feels better year-round, but especially during the cozy holidays, than a restful night's sleep in soft, luxurious sheets. Boll & Branch's signature sheets are made with the finest 100% organic cotton, and they get softer with every single wash. You already know that I got Boll & Branch this summer when I needed breathable sheets to sleep in, but this holiday season, I'm actually gifting some of my friends and family Boll & Branch's Ultimate Softness Bundle. I get to choose a signature hem sheet set in any color, a signature hem pillow set, and a waffle bed blanket. And they're all getting juniper because I think it's a classy color. This way, you know you have something nice to sleep on when you visit. It's the perfect gift for you and them. Gift you and your loved ones a better night's sleep with Boll & Branch. And right now is their best offer of the entire year. For 25% off plus free shipping on your first set of sheets, head to bollandbranch.com/Iliza. That's Boll & Branch, BOLLAND branch.com/Iliza for 25% off. Limited time only. Exclusions apply. See site for details.
Hello, beautiful humans and magical baby animals. I just listened to your episode about your miscarriage. Sorry, I'm so behind on my podcast binge and for the loss of little one.
You're so behind. I even had another baby.
Another baby.
In the time.
I may have just discovered your podcast about a month ago and I'm a little behind.
Okay.
Anyway, my best friend and husband have been trying for another child. She's had 3 miscarriages last year in addition to losing her brother to COVID complications.
Your best friend and your husband?
Yes. Her and I live in different states and we're in our early 30s. When you were going through your miscarriage, what is something that your friends and family did to help you through the grieving process? Is there anything that in particular that stands out, or is there anything you wish someone did to be there for you? Thank you for all that you and your team do to genuinely make the world a better place. Also, I'll give you a prize if you can figure out how to correctly say my username, LOL. Well,
I don't want to prize.
I'm pretty positive it's Heather.
Cool.
Oh, hey, it's Heather. HTHR. Right? It says, oh, hey,
Heather.
it's HTHR. Heather.
It's Heather. Is it the name or the whole screen name that she wants?
The name is H space T space H space R space plant. The screen name is, oh, hey, it's HTHR.
I don't care.
It's not thrilling for you?
She owes you like a finger trap or like a fidget spinner because you won the day. Honestly, this is my answer. Yeah. I had my miscarriage at I want to say 8 or 10 weeks or something. And while it was devastating that day, and this is in my new book, All Things Aside, which you can pre-order now. So please do that because we're going to run out. Okay. Emily, you were there. It was really devastating that day. I cried a lot that day and then I was done. It was over. It was horrible, but I'm a big pick your head up, keep moving forward person. I wasn't embarrassed. I didn't feel, it's a bummer, but that day was rough. And I remember my husband flew home. He was in Texas doing business. He flew home immediately. And on his way, this is just for us, on his way home, he picked up orange wine and sushi and brought it home because it was all the things that you can't eat. So it was, had he just come home, that would have been enough. It was incredibly sweet. And I really found that in speaking with other women, I was comforted by the fact, this is going to sound awful, that so many women have gone through it. So you don't feel like such a freak. Talking it out really helps. And finding that relationship with other women, that you're in this weird club. I found not keeping anything in. But after that one day, I wasn't so sad. That's just me, in my experience. At the time, yeah. So that's my answer. Take it as a chance to reset. I'm going to eat all the things I couldn't have. Do a whippet. Have some drugs. Get back to fucking. No, I'm just saying that was my experience.
Is there anything that anyone did for you besides your husband that was nice, or did you kind of not? I guess it depends on the person because they might not want to talk about it.
Also, it was just nice how sweet my family was, and people cried with me and they were sad with me. But you don't want to wallow in it.
Cry more than the person who something happened to.
Wait, what?
You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah. Never be the person who's crying more. Right. That episode of the new Sex and the City where Charlotte kept crying and she's like, Big died. And she's like, I know, I should make it about me. Anyways, letting people be there for you is very powerful. So that was my gift. I let them be there for me. And now it's in my act and it helps people.
There you go. Anonymous, Iliza, and gang, I choose to be sober.
Okay.
I grew up religious and continue to still be. I enjoy it. It brings me peace. Quite a bit of my family on both sides, whether they once were religious or not, drink. Some of my cousins, aunts, and uncles will offer me a drink still. I'm nearly 30, and I see it as a respect thing. I don't take offense. I decline and get something else, or they'll make me a non-alcoholic version. They're even prepared to make me one now and have substitutes ready.
What's a non-alcoholic version of a martini? What's a non-alcoholic version of just gin on the rocks?
Maybe you get a sparkling water and cranberry juice.
Okay.
Occasionally, they'll crack a joke about me being lame or to, quote, get out from under my parents' restrictive thumb. I went away for college and haven't lived with my parents in years. How can I be seen as the nearly 30-year-old adult I am and not be mocked or referred to as a child just because I choose to not drink? Alcoholism is on both sides of my family, and I have addictive tendencies in other aspects of my life. Even if I wasn't religious, I feel that I would still be sober. And then a little more context. Does the fact that I'm still single and childless play into this?
What?
I don't stand around and judge anyone for drinking ever or bring up religion. I socialize and join in many conversations with everyone, regardless of their drink choice. If someone's kid is running around and they ask me to hold their drink, I do. If someone asks me to bring them back a drink when I'm going to get another, I do. I babysit for family still because they ask me to, and who doesn't need the cash?
All right. There's a lot going on here. I don't think anything has to do with you not having kids or not dating anyone. This is about you seem very confident in your choice to not drink, and it is for very good reasons. So you need to get comfortable with people being uncomfortable with it because it doesn't sound like you quite are. Or you have to get comfortable with making other people uncomfortable. And when they say those sophomoric comments, you can simply say, alcoholism runs in my family, so this is my proactive choice. And anybody who doesn't immediately respect that is a beast. And you have to be okay with them not being okay with it. You have to be okay with being like, I don't need you. You can just look at them and just be like, I don't need you to feel good about this. Like, that's it.
It does weirdly make people uncomfortable, though. Like, I went to a big party college and I would just get a drink and carry it around, or I'd go get like a Coke and carry it around because it just makes people uneasy if they're all drunk and you're not. Like, they don't like it.
A habit you still carry with you today.
Yeah, I mean, for the most part, but I don't like to be out of control of a situation. But I think that's other people think if you're still in control in some way, you're going to be judging me. And it's all has to do with them and has nothing to do with you.
Nothing to do with you. Nonconformity makes people uncomfortable. Have you ever like sat next to like a priest or a nun on an airplane? Like you're like, do you eat food and drink water like I do? It makes people, when other people aren't like them, it makes them like a little uncomfortable. And they also think you're being like a bit of a narc. And then they're like kind of treating you like you're delicate. But your answer is such a good answer. Like, I am being proactive because there are alcoholics in my family. How is that not, how is that answer not good enough for people? So you just got to work on, you cannot control how they react, and it shouldn't matter. Yeah. The rest of it, there's too much to unpack. I don't know. Your family just seem like a bunch of assholes. You have bad friends. You should move.
Here's to all things. Hello. Here's to all things. Hello to all things furry and furless.
Okay.
Here's to all things furry and furless. We live in Center City, Philadelphia, in the last original 1700s row home.
Ooh.
It's small, narrow, and 3 stories tall. We own the home. Surrounding us are McMansions in the $1 to $3 million range.
Is that
recently a house sold adjacent to ours? The new owners have converted it to an Airbnb for the summer to build the funds to then add 3 stories to the home and create a multi-unit duplex to both live in and rent as an Airbnb. For the last 2 weekends, there have been parties and disturbances, and you can likely guess why we don't prefer to have temporary residents in the neighborhood. I spoke directly to the owner today, expressed my concerns, and told her the situation was untenable. She was understanding, but has her own agenda, and while she supported me continuing to call the police based on disturbances, admitted there's nothing more she can do to prevent partiers. She suggested that she could drive past the house to check on it, and I told her that was not a good idea. Confronting a group of people after drinking is not a safe situation, and we have resources like police that can handle it. Not to mention, what's the ramification if not to just call the police anyway? While I believe the nuisance will lessen once they live on the Airbnb site, is it unreasonable that I'm pissed? Airbnb offers very little options other than reporting the incidents and having the ramifications fall on the guest, but the loopholes to just create another account. And then they even shared the listing of the house and like a picture of how close they are. So they have gorgeous,
this
nice
whole time
house.
You've been talking, I've been Googling Center City, but it's just like the government webpage for it. I want to see what it looks like so bad.
I didn't say a city, did I? Philadelphia,
Center City.
1700s row home. What are you Googling?
You said Center City, Philadelphia.
Oh, you're right. I did say that.
My bad. Oops, I gave away their social security number. Hope it's okay.
I know. I'm always like, what? I didn't say anything about them, but it says it in here.
Wow, Erin really trusts me. She's just like, here's where I live.
I know. But I mean, can you imagine? I would love that if a celebrity went after a fan.
I see this house. Okay. Well, my first thought is you can create an Airbnb and reserve that Airbnb, and then right at the cancellation date, like before you have to pay, you cancel it and just keep booking it and canceling it within X amount of days.
I mean, my hope would be, I would lean the other way and be like, I hope the worst people move in there so that this gets shut down. Like, aren't there rules about how many people can be Airbnbs in an area? Are there any sort of neighborhood
Why do I
laws?
Also feel like, I think there's something like that. Talk to Airbnb, and there's got to be some sort of loud zoning issues. My biggest concern is the woman who's renting out this Airbnb is wearing the ugliest hat. And it looks so dumb with her hoop earrings. And so,
why is there a picture of her?
Because she wants you to know you can trust her. She's not a robot. But I will tell you, like, a woman who wears a hat like that cannot be reasoned with. So you might have to move.
Honestly, that is true. But the problem is, so every time she reports at Airbnb is like, oh, okay, we'll ban that guest. But then the guest, they're not coming back again. Then someone new comes and they suck.
The issue is with the owner who doesn't care that she's creating this really unstable environment in her community. Is there a community board that you can...
Is there like a Nextdoor or a Facebook?
Yeah, or is there like a town hall meeting that can talk about like historical districts and renting out Airbnbs? Like, what's the way to sort of circumvent her and see if like legally she can't have that? And also, some Airbnbs, like, could she at least put like no parties? The bigger issue is that they have a roof. Like a rooftop with like an umbrella, like encouraging people to be out there. So if they're allowed at all, because you have a tiny street, it's going to reverberate down the street and you're going to hear it. And it's like, well, first of all, I don't know why anybody's vacationing in the middle of Philadelphia. That's not exactly what I think of when I think of a fun roof. That's tough. Like neighbors, you're right. She just doesn't care. And she's like, I don't live there, so.
Right. And she's just getting as much money as she can to renovate.
So Philly accent. I mean, look, it's Philly. I'm sure you have someone in your family who's a contractor. And so I'm sure you can offer those services to her when it comes time to renovating, and then you can just gut her for all it's worth. Unfortunately, being a homeowner, while it was like a big part of the American dream and jingled in front of us as kids growing up, it is a total fucking nightmare. And it's not fair. It's not fair that when you're the consumer or you're a homeowner, it's just like, eat shit. Other people are trying to make a living. She sounds like she's an idiot. It's really hard to deal with dumb people based on that hat.
Oh, yeah, boy. And the laws right now are like still evolving surrounding Airbnbs. There are places like Palm Springs where there are so many bylaws about how many people can rent out their homes.
Yeah, I would check the rules. And then I would get to fake signing up for that and just eating up her calendar. No, that's rough.
Is there a way to involve her when you call the police to like make it more difficult for her so that she don't call the police, call her first so that she has to drive from wherever she is over there and ruin whatever she's up to?
Are other neighbors annoyed by it? Is it just you? That's the worst when you feel
like
alone.
Everything around there, she says, has like been built up and changed. So she's kind of the only one in that classic type of house.
Yeah.
And everyone else is some Airbnb.
Let us know what you do. Let us know what you do. That's rough. You could steal her hat, take away all of her pizzazz.
All of her power.
Mm-hmm.
Hello, Iliza. As a master of syntax and having a very robust lexicon, can you sort this out for me? My new boss, as of January 2022, says snookum in large organization-wide meetings, as in John Smith is who you should seek advice from. He's snookum in that subject area.
What?
At first, I thought he misspoke, so I ignored it. But now a new, super competent coworker has adopted the term. In my experience, I've heard snookum as the colloquial term used in our world to designate someone as, in my experience, I've heard skookum as the colloquial term used in our world to designate someone as competent or a subject matter expert. Did I miss this alternate use? Do I say something or just continue to let my colleagues use this weird word? It makes me think of a term of endearment like snookum or snookum wookum or worse, snooky, making my brain do a word association exercise and ultimately lose focus on the message being relayed. Is it regional? I'm, in fact, the one who was confused. I look to your linguistic ability here to ferret it out. Much appreciated.
First of all, it's not pronounced ferret. It's pronounced Ferrero Rocher. And second of all, you're both mispronouncing it. It's not snookum, it's scrotum. And that's what you should be saying. I've never heard that. I too thought it was like, oh, my snookum's like my sweetheart.
I
I thought your boss was just an idiot.
Other word, skookum, that exists.
Can you look that up?
Googled and means strong, brave, or impressive.
Spell it.
Skookum.
Is it Native American?
What?
Doesn't it sound like a Native American term, like like a city in Connecticut? Skookum.
It does, but like, since that's a word, very clearly they're just trying to say that and not.
It's an adjective?
It is a adjective or a noun meaning a street party or trade fair.
That is a really weird word, but that is really the bigger issue is, regardless of the word, that somebody above you is using a word incorrectly. And that is so tough because people are very weird about being corrected. You might have to let it go, or in a not publicly, so like in a private meeting with the opposite of publicly, when it's your boss, right?
Yeah.
When you're in your boss.
And now another coworker who they trust.
Okay. Well, you don't have to trust them. You can just Google it and there's your answer. So it's not about trusting anyone. You can do one of two things. One, this could be your private joke from which you build off of and make a profile that your boss is an idiot. Or two, when you're alone with your boss and she says, he's Snookum. Be like, just say to her, be like, are you saying Snookum? I always thought it was Skookum. That's what you do. You make it like you're the idiot. Like, I always thought it was Skookum. And she'll be like,
oh no, I've been saying Skookum like a fool.
And then she'll look it up.
Saying this so much.
And then she'll look it up and she'll be like, oh no, oh well. So you just say it like you're dumb, and it'll, unless she's totally obtuse and she's like, nope, I know what's best. It's Snookum. Honestly, we are at the very end. We are careening toward the decline of civilization and America as a whole. And so, people say things like Valentine's Day, and they also say things like, I could have went at public speaking engagements. So, maybe live and let die, or live and let pie, as my boss says. Live and let pie. Actually, that's a great pro LGBTQIA slogan. Live and let pie.
Once I hear someone say something wrong, so like someone that always says Valentine's or library or
February,
anything like someone who does that.
Actually,
once
February
I hear it,
correct.
I can't unhear it.
Yeah, people say things wrong. It's just all about, is she the kind of person who I would love to be corrected if I ever made a mistake? No, if I get a word wrong, oh my God, I'll kill myself. Okay.
I'm a certified athletic trainer. I have both my bachelor's and master's. I'm a certified fitness trainer for pregnant and postpartum women. I've worked at the collegiate level, physical therapy clinics, and military setting. I don't say this to toot my own horn or anything. It applies to the question.
It's actually pronounced toot my own porn.
I've been working out at a new gym recently, and almost every day I go, I'll see a different girl at the gym who just looks so nervous to be there. Like she wants to disappear, but is pushing herself to be there and work out, but has no clue what she's doing. Occasionally, I'll see them do a lift, like a deadlift, and the form will be awful. And I feel so bad because I know just how bad that form can be for them from an injury perspective. I know they're in their head too, just wondering if they're doing the right thing, worried they're being judged because I've been there. My question is it okay for me to go over and ask if they want help? I don't want to insult them at all. I just want them to feel more confident. I want them to keep coming back, and I don't want them to hurt themselves. I feel like girls can be so competitive with each other, and I don't want them to feel like I'm looking down on them or be embarrassed. Would you be offended if someone tried to offer you help in a similar way? Am I overthinking this? Help.
I'm actually wondering why you're asking me this, because you have all of these credentials and you have all this experience. So it's odd to me that you don't feel empowered, and this is not against you. I'm just I feel like there's something else here. This is your job.
But I immediately thought, oh, that's a really tough one because
you don't want to hurt anybody's feelings.
Strangers.
Yeah,
and
but you work there.
No, she doesn't work there.
Oh, sorry.
She's been working out at a new gym. She's a pro with all this training, but not at this gym.
No, it's very weird. I'm sorry. I take it all back. Sorry. I was like, yeah, you work there. You should definitely be trying to help people.
Oh, yeah. No, if she worked there, she should do her job. But no, she doesn't work there, but she's seeing people
here's the thing.
Potentially injure themselves.
Look, I understand why one could argue go over and try to help, but they may have learned that from someone else who told them the wrong thing. So it's kind of like they don't know your credentials. So you're just some woman hitting on them at the gym, or you're just some random crazy who's telling them to fix something. I probably wouldn't be receptive to your information either because I don't know who you are. And for the people tend to get very protective over misinformation that they don't know is misinformation. People are very protective over their point of view and over their practices. I worked out by myself for years, and then I finally got a trainer, and then she was like, you're doing your squats wrong. But prior to her, I thought I was doing them right. And especially with the amount of misinformation out there, and look, I believe you have that pedigree and you have all of this training. There are plenty of people online that are fitness trainer, instructor, that they live in that world that don't have that are still telling people what to do. So unfortunately, you're a victim of too many cooks in the kitchen, too many people saying too much information. I wouldn't say anything because God forbid, like you told the girl what to do and she hurts herself. Like we live in a world where like she could sue you. I would just focus on your workout. If you strike up a conversation and somebody asks, but it is that tough thing where it's like, and I totally get it because I know that feeling where you're like, you can see someone needs your help or needs help, maybe not your help. But the odds of them not being cool about it probably should outweigh your desire to help. So yeah, I wouldn't. I just wouldn't.
What do you think about if she went over to whoever was doing it wrong? Let's say it's a deadlift and she just started deadlifting correctly right next to them without saying anything.
I think the other person they wouldn't even notice it because they'd be so concentrating on doing it wrong and competing with you. It's tough. Look, sometimes there's an energy and you can really read a situation and you can just lock in on someone. I've definitely experienced that where like sometimes you just know that someone wants to talk to you or something like that. But I think a little part of it is you do want to, it does feel good to be the one with the information and to be the expert and to help people. And it's not about a superiority complex because I love to help people with stuff too. But I think you should just set that aside and work on your workout and leave. I'm sorry. It's just, we live in too weird of a world.
Yeah.
And they're probably, to them, you're a stranger.
Right.
You're just a weird stranger gripping them on the groin and shaking.
It's a nice instinct, but I don't want anyone talking to me.
I don't know that I believe you too. If I'm doing my workout, and by the way, what if I've been working out my whole life and I've had a trainer and you come up and you're like, actually, you want to grip this way? I'd be like, okay, thanks, crazy person.
Right.
You could be anyone. I could go up to someone and tell them to do that. I don't know.
Maybe you should.
Maybe I have. Maybe that's how I lost.
I'm going to go into the gym and be like, this is how you do it.
Check it out. If you want to get this definition in your thumb knuckle. So finally, fall is here. I have been looking forward to it. I have had a hard year in a good way. I had a baby. I have been on a nonstop tour, nonstop traveling, and it's been hot. So I'm looking forward to, of course, pumpkin spice, everything, cooler weather, and slipping into a cozy sweater from Quince. I've talked about Quince before. Quince has beautiful leather jackets, cotton cardigans, soft denim, and so much more. All Quince items are priced 50 to 80% less than similar brands. Dressing expensive doesn't have to be expensive. Their clothing is beautiful, it's durable, it stands the test of time, and it's what I like to call a capsule wardrobe. I got an Italian wool cocoon coat. That's one of those, it's got like a European collar and it covers my butt so I can walk around New York City and not be chilly. And Quince only works with factories that use safe, ethical, and responsible manufacturing practices. Get cozy in Quince's high-quality wardrobe essentials. Go to quince.com/Iliza for free shipping on your order and 365-day returns. That's QUINCE.com/Iliza to get free shipping and 365-day returns. Quince.com/Iliza.
Hello, gang. I need an opinion on how to handle someone at work. I have a coworker, male, late 30s, early 40s, and he's friendly, but a little awkward. He's going through a divorce and starting to date people, and I think learning how to navigate this new life.
He's showing up at my gym, telling people how to work out. It's weird. Correcting my form. Okay, fine.
I invited him to come out with me and a couple of girls I know to trivia at a bar. I know these girls through a roller derby league, and I never hung out with him solo before, so I wanted to bring someone I knew with me. I was kind of afraid he would embarrass me because sometimes he says things like, women in engineering have it easy. But we all had a good time and the conversation was pleasant.
You wanted to hang out with him. This guy sounds great. Totally.
So after we all hung out and he texted me and mentioned one of the girls was super cute. Too bad because she's gay. I just agreed and thought that would be the end of that. The following day at work, he messages me and reiterates that he thinks she's cute. I ignore it. 2 weeks later, he asks when the next trivia is happening. I tell him some other work people have talked about wanting to do one. Then he asked me if we can all hang out again with the roller derby girls and to tell the one girl he thinks she's so cool and fun. I ignore again. I don't plan on inviting him to any more activities with these people because now I'm afraid he's going to try to hit on this girl when we're all aware she's not into men. So my question is, do I say something to him about not feeling comfortable bringing him around people he keeps bringing up and calling cute? Or do I leave him on red every time he brings it up until he asks why I won't engage him on the topic? The dude is not mean or rude, maybe just socially inept. I'm a married woman, 28, if that gives you more context.
God, I saw this thing the other day that was like, the guy isn't in the friend zone. It's like the zone that girls have to put you, like she's just being nice to you because she's afraid you're going to do something weird to her. And so if I'm reading this right, like you invited him, I don't know why. You seem fulfilled as a person but okay, you were trying to be nice. You invited him and then it was made apparent the reason that you had to invite him, which is why he has no friends, is because he's weird. So now you're stuck with at 28, a middle age, which I resent because we did the math and 40 is middle age if you plan on living to 80. Most people don't live to 100. So I don't know how old he is. But now you've befriended this kind of weirdo who might be a good guy. You said the girl was gay. He's not hearing it. And he already made the girl an engineering comment. So he's kind of a little weird and older. It sucks to leave him on red, even though he'd probably never know that you did that. The other thing is, like, you could just invite him along and let him hang himself. It's not your responsibility.
Right. I think the concern would be she really hasn't hung out with these roller derby girls much. And so they're going to associate her with him. And then that takes away that group. But yeah, I mean, it's tough because it's like you don't know he's going to be weird. But the fact that he's so fixated on this girl is like not a great sign.
Yeah, I you know what? I can give you all the advice in the world. I'd probably just leave him unread, to be honest. It's shitty, but it's the easiest thing to do. And just be like, oh, we haven't hung out. And then if he brings her up, be like, because here's the thing, you might be like, she's gay. He'll be like, and then he'll deflect and be like, I don't like her like that. And he'll make up some other weird reason. So he's proving all the reasons that you thought were weird about him.
Right. Also, maybe if you want to be friends with those roller derby girls, you brought him because you wanted someone you knew and you don't know them. So go hang out with them and see how it goes. Maybe you don't even like them anyway. And you can tell your coworker, we're not going to go hang out with them because I don't like them.
It's also like, do you need, like, what's wrong with just writing back? Like, don't know, LOL. I don't really know them that well. That's the other answer. Just be like, I don't really know them that well. And if you,
that was the only time you'd hung out.
If you really want to get to the bottom of it, he'll be like, when are we going to see her again? Be like, why? And he'll be like, because I thought she was pretty. And be like, but I told you she's gay. And then just watch those 3 gray dots percolate forever. The answer is you don't have to take this on. Don't know them. LOL. I definitely have people in my life. I think one person in particular who they send texts and I'm just like, I don't know. Sometimes I just don't write back. So I'm just like,
don't talk about me on the podcast.
Oh my God, if you ever stop talking to me, you're my own. Just don't give it any oxygen. This is a huge problem with being a woman. Like the fact that you're even wasting your one question to write in about this pariah. You tried to be nice and it backfired. And now this guy's off jerking off thinking about roller derby girl. Roller derby people aren't thinking about it. He is not your responsibility. End of story. LOL, don't know, not really friends with her, or bring her. And hopefully those women aren't so dumb that they wouldn't judge you for bringing him. You're not, you just brought him along for funsies. That's it. Yeah. You don't have to, you can set this down. I'm giving you permission. You're not responsible. Mm-hmm. When have you ever, this is for all the women out there, for as much as we feel burdened by somebody else, the discomfort someone else creates, when have you ever been at a party or anything and somebody who you're cool with has a friend and that friend's weird and you've come away from the party like, I'm never talking to my friend again? No. The next time you see them, you're like, dude, that guy you brought was super weird. He's like, yeah, sorry about that.
you're not going to be judged for their behavior. We only do that when we don't like your kid, and then we blame the mother. No one's going to be like, how could you befriend a weirdo? No, they'll judge him, and you guys will laugh about how weird he was forever.
Yeah. Hey there. As a fellow elder millennial, there are several trends coming back that have me cringing, but here's my question. What fad or trend do you want to make a comeback that hasn't? Can't wait to see you again in St. Louis.
It's tough for me to answer this because I actually wrote a whole section about this in my new book, All Things Aside, Absolutely Correct Opinions, which is available for pre-order right now.
Would the link be found in your bio?
Yep. Link in bio, or just, go to Barnes & Noble or any of your indie booksellers. If you want to do Amazon, that's okay too. Trying to spread it around. Are we talking fashion-wise? Are we talking language-wise?
I'm assuming they're saying the ones now are cringeworthy, so I'm assuming fashion. But
I like not 80s leg warmers, but early 2000s leg warmers, which were in fashion for about 30 seconds to wear them like over your high heels. I love that. I love leg warmers over sneakers, over boots. With like a little skirt. I fucking live for that. And I would do it now too if I ever wore a skirt. Leg warmers. I really like the low-rise jean look. It's just a little inappropriate. What else? Hair feathers. I've talked at length about how much I miss how cool that looked.
That's your number one.
Being really tan with like bleach blonde hair. Like Pam Anderson, late 90s, to me is like peak female beauty.
Yeah, so then you need a belly button ring and a crop top.
I love a crop top. I love a purple eyeshadow. I never liked the fedoras. Most of the fashion, all of the fashion in the early 2000s were hideous. I never liked the tie thing. I never liked blazers. I hate when those come back in fashion. So those things. And, all emo, pop punk music and a side part. A really deep side part, whether it's preppy or emo, I'm really into. And in many ways, these things never went out of fashion in my heart. But yeah, all that stuff. And freestyle music, which is only really popular, which is also my book. If you are Latino or Italian or from like Miami or like New Jersey in the 80s, but like Stevie B and all that kind of music, I really enjoy that. Yeah. Yeah, you do. To the point of no return. Or two hearts that beat. Taylor Dane.
Yeah, I know that song.
Anyways, that kind of stuff. I had those things ready to go.
You were locked and loaded on that one. I knew you would be.
Yeah. Trying to think of like words that we used to use. I feel like that changes so fast now. Like all of a sudden we don't say lit anymore, and I was just getting used to it.
Don't say lit.
Fresh.
No.
Oh.
I still use like typed in emojis, like a colon and a
yeah, those are nice and simple when you just want to convey something and get the fuck out of there.
Some of those little faces are like little perverts. Like,
do people still hold their guitars really low when they play them? Like Pete Wentz, that was cool. That's how I think of guitars. All right, kick it. Get into next season.
Hey, Iliza, just wonder if we can all agree that the I'm going away for a few days, I'm not ghosting you, I'll talk to you soon text is code for I'm going to hang out with my girl or another girl and I don't want you getting in the way. Been talking to this guy for months and we text at least every single day. We have hung out in person. I got that text today. Huge red flag to me, no matter the context. Just all of a sudden, he's always found a way, or I know for a fact that he doesn't have a job that he can't look at his phone for a couple days or doesn't have service. Weird feeling in my gut. I'm already planning on dropping him, but just wanted your 2 cents.
He's cheating on you. He has a family. He is already dating someone. You should have run weeks ago, months ago. This guy is cheating. End of story. I met a guy. I went out with him. Oh my God, now I'm trying to see if I get this confused. I remember I met a guy and yeah, he was like, hey, I'm putting my phone away because I'm going into the woods for a couple days. And I was like, oh, okay. And I asked him a question and he didn't write back. And I was like, oh, you meant you were literally going into the woods as you were texting it and you lost service. Fucking weirdo. It's such a disrespectful sign. That means he was so not into me that he's and I'll just get back to you whenever I get service back. So.
But at least he said he was going into the woods. It's better than this text that's just I will be away for
right, which is why I'm saying it's not that. And that's the one case the guy was no, I'm literally going into a lake right now. Whoa, 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 whoa. this guy is cheating on someone with you. And even if you haven't hooked up or anything, he's texting you and he's in a relationship. So he's going on a family vacation. He doesn't want to deal with it. Please, please do not stick around to find out to what degree. Nobody does that unless you're going into space.
Or it's like he comes back and he's like, oh, I was on a reality show. I was on America's Next Top Model and they took my phone and I couldn't reveal that I was
for funsies, ask him. Be like, what are you doing? And then he'll be like, why are you being so weird about it? And he'll try to make you crazy. I would love to know his excuse. Are you going into like a chemotherapy sensory deprivation tank? Where are you going? Where are you going? Yeah, you're going somewhere with your wife.
Hi, it's me again, the woman of the blended family of 13. I'm back with another question.
Oh, thank God we've been waiting.
Well, so for listeners, this person doesn't have 13 children. They are one of 13 in a blended family. It's a lot of step siblings.
One of 13 children.
Yeah, so it's a Brady Bunch situation. My stepsister has banned my family and I from the Passover Seder. She's pregnant and due over the holiday and told her mom she wants something quiet, just her and her husband and kids and her mom. My stepmom argued her down to my dad celebrating with them as well. My stepsister returned with fine, but not his kids. Her mom has a hard time saying no to her kids, especially since they guilt her for marrying my dad about a year after their dad died of cancer.
I'm so lost already, and I think a lot of our listeners are confused about Passover.
Okay, so
what's happening?
Okay, so our question asker,
fully,
at least her stepsister is. Her stepsister said, nobody who's not related to me is coming. And her mom said,
okay, and so what we're asking, and they don't have a mother in common. They have a father.
Right, a father.
No,
nothing
in common. They don't even know each other. This question's so weird. Okay. They're step siblings, and Rose talking, her father married that woman's mother.
Yes. So that woman is like, okay, fine. Your husband, question asker's father, can come to the Seder, but none of his kids.
I totally get that. I'm on her.
So my stepsister is not hosting. The Seder will be taking place at a hotel. I live near my stepsister, but my dad and stepmom are my dad and stepmom are flying in special for the holiday, and we don't see them that often, especially the last 2 years. Now, if I recall correctly, by the way, this question asker wanted to have a good relationship with all these people.
Right, and so, don't like you, because
she
likes
right
them. Into podcasts about them. Got it. Okay.
I think it's good she's making boundaries for herself during such a sensitive time, but I have issues with her boundaries telling me how to spend my holiday. So, do I tell her how I feel and risk her getting mad and asking my dad not to join? Yes, this is behavior within the bounds of what she would ask, or just suck it up. My husband and I are now planning to spend Seder at his parents', so we have a place to go, but still, I was looking forward to celebrating with my family.
Well, since your stepsister doesn't really want your dad there anyway, why don't you say, hey, Dad, can you come with us? The truth is your dad wants to be with his wife. That's what this is. And you know what? The stepsister, it could even be less. It could be less about like you and not liking you. It's a pain.
She's
pregnant, and you're catering for all these people, and you're having it at a hotel, so I don't think you're cooking. Are you guys like super conservative? That seems odd to me. Is it like with the synagogue?
Well, so let's see. The related siblings, there's 8 of them. So 5 of the 13 kids are from our question asker. 8 are from that family.
It's a lot. That's 5 plus their kids plus their spouses. You have to draw the line.
8.
Okay. You have to draw the line somewhere. And so, you might have to let this holiday go because your dad really wants to spend it with his wife.
And the problem is this sister basically called dibs on the parents by planning a Seder first, because you were hoping to go spend it with them. You weren't hosting or planning one. Now you're going to go spend it with your husband's parents. So you do have somewhere to go.
Yeah, you do have somewhere to go. And look, I get that Passover is like a big family holiday, but Jew to Jew, it's definitely not the most important Jewish holiday. It's definitely not the most solemn Jewish holiday. We all know the big 2 are whenever Yom Kippur and Rosh Hashanah are. So that's tough. But if I had to argue for her, I'd say like at some point you got to draw a line, because you can keep inviting everyone and their exponents until you're at like 1,000-person dinner, So she had to, I get it. For my wedding, I went a little crazy and then I had to like retract these invitations because I love my stepmom, but she has 5 brothers and sisters who each have spouses. And so that's an additional 10 people. And I had to say, I can't invite you guys, even though I love you, because at a certain point it's genig, which is Yiddish for enough. So
yeah.
I can understand why your feelings are hurt, but if you put yourself in her position, like at what point do we have too many people? So you're both
right. And she asked first. So if you want to host something and have your dad there, like you can plan it next year.
And you don't have to invite her, but you will because you like her for some reason. She's prettier than you. Is that what this is? A little bit. She's cooler. No, you're a big person. No. But yeah, it's a lot for her. I feel that way whenever we have parties, or like, what the tough one is? If you're having an intimate birthday dinner, where do you draw the line at someone can bring a +1? If they've been dating for 6 months, the worst is when you're friends with someone and you like don't really know their girlfriend or boyfriend. And you're like, I guess you can bring Steve, because you're like, I just want my friend there, but it's shitty to be like, you can't bring your spouse.
I mean, but how often, very, very rarely does someone bring a +1 that contributes anything. Very rarely do you meet someone's +1 and go, I'm glad that this person is here.
Totally. It's tough. It's tough. So a big part of being married is just enduring the +1s of people you love. Like, oh, good, you brought Megan. Well, here's your corner, Megan. Enjoy the chips. Hey, everyone, Megan's here. Oh, Megan. Okay.
A hilarious new stand-up special from comedy legend Jim Gaffigan, The Skinny, is coming to Hulu November 22nd. This Thanksgiving, see Jim in a whole new light as he gives you the inside scoop on everything from parenting teenagers to weight loss and gaslighting family members. For everyone in need of a happy hour, the new hilarious stand-up special, Jim Gaffigan, The Skinny, premieres November 22nd, streaming on Hulu.
Hi, Iliza and gang. Congratulations on the new baby. Question. I have a group of relatively new girlfriends I've been getting closer to over the last few months in my new city. There are 4 of us girls total that started hanging out in this group. 2 of the girls, Holly and Lauren, I'm super close to. We've hung out just the 3 of us multiple times due to the 4th being busy with work, and we really clicked as a group of 3. We have our own group message separate from the larger group.
The larger group
more
being people, one more person.
Problem.
You are definitely in your 20s.
The 4th girl in the large group is a total drag. She obviously doesn't fit with our energy and most of the time sits quietly and doesn't talk at all. I don't want to vocalize my boredom with her to the other 2 girls and come off bitchy, but I don't know how to get rid of the dead weight. We've had multiple conversations about how close the 3 of us are, but the 2 I like constantly text in a larger group, thus inviting girl 4 to any plans. How do I tactfully cut her out?
You don't. Don't be a bitch. Is
she really bumming you out so much, sitting quietly and like not taking up any attention?
Has it occurred to you that like you guys take up all the oxygen in the room and that you need her so you have someone to talk to? I think, and look, I've been the person who's just like, why is this person talking? I don't like this person. Like everybody has their way to contribute in things. She's not doing something bad. It could mean the world to her. Put yourself in her position. What if she doesn't know anyone either? And she made friends with you 3 psychopaths and she's got nowhere else to go. And she wants somewhere to, because by the way, we all know in your 20s, hanging out is just to make sure that you're in a big enough number that you don't get sexually assaulted while you're out. You don't have to be soulmates with these girls. Let her go to the bar with you and just make sure the other one doesn't get drugged. We're not asking you to like make a blood oath. This is what girls do. And by the way, you're lucky it's not just the 3 of you because those 2 would be saying the same thing about you because girls love, that's like a rule when your little girls have sleepovers, never make it 3 because 2 will gang up on the 1 and then they'll eat her. So I think you're being a little harsh and this girl will naturally find her own library to join or something, but I don't think you don't have to have like a coup. You don't have to mutiny on this girl.
Right. Like dead weight +1s, you just put up with it. It's fine.
invite her, she comes, she doesn't. Eventually she'll either get the hint or she'll just kind of see herself out. But this is a lot of energy about somebody that really shouldn't be taking up much of your energy.
Maybe she sucks so hard and she's like Rachel Dratch and Debbie Downer.
By the way,
a bunch of Lindsay Lohans.
Don't get me wrong. I love to talk about someone who sucks. And it is fun to commiserate and be like, yeah, they're just the worst. But it is karmically not nice to just like cut. Do you know how horrible that girl's going to feel when she finds out like the three of you deliberately left her out? It's not like it's her and some other friends or it's her and her boyfriend. Think about how you would feel. And you're like, I thought these girls were my friends. I was just being quiet because they're always howling.
Or she's a mute and you haven't let her tell you that yet.
I'm just saying, it's you sound like you're in your early 20s. And I get it. There's this like animalistic need to like eat the weak. And I get it. There are some comics who I just, every time they talk to me, and like I want to beat them with my fists. And sometimes they're men. I want to be like, I think I could physically hurt you. You're so weak. And I just.
Okay. Well.
But you be sweet. You be sweet because it probably will have meant the world to her. She's going to go on her mom or her mom doesn't even like her. She's like, why are you calling me, Megan? She's like, it's just that my only 3 friends in this new city. Do you know that would break you if you found out the only 3 girls who thought you were your friends all went to Color Me Mine without you?
Don't post on Instagram with just the 3 of you.
Yeah, be better than that. Oh God, that's even worse. Because if you cut her out, you will spend all of your time trying to make it look like you're not hanging out.
I don't know if these people care that much.
Too much energy. Like, let's not post this. Let's post it later. Oh, here's the lie that we'll tell her. You can tell that I've definitely done this to people. I'm like, oh, we weren't going to hang out and then we did. I remember that. I remember like not wanting to include someone. And so the lie you tell later is, oh, Michelle organized it. I just showed up. Oh, we didn't know. Oh, we were, or like when you all say you're going to leave and so that person leaves and then you all hang out anyway. Well, we're going to leave, but then we didn't. Or you don't text about it. It's too much.
Top of the cob.
It's the top of the cob. We're doing it right every day. You just take a bite. Top of the cob.
Did you want to start with your top or your bottom? I know you're excited for one of them.
I'll start with my top so we can leave on the bottom because it was so weird. The top of my cob is a scone. The difference between a scone and a muffin is batter and a scone is dough. And I thought I didn't like scones because it's like, how do you pitch a scone? Like, it's all the look of a muffin with the density of bread. Do you like muffins? We'll try them drier. I think scones are really good because they're really filling. And I had one yesterday and I cut it in half. Okay, Noah made it. Okay, they were frozen as a gift and Noah made them. And because I was really tired and I just wanted something comforting. And he made these berry scones from Jones on 3rd and he baked them. And I was like, 30 minutes, that's too long. And then I just took a shower. And when I came back, they were done. And he cut them in half. And I was like, I'll just put butter on mine. And he goes, you don't want to put it in the broiler to make it all nice and crispy. And I'm like, still not sure how a broiler works, but he did it. And it was outstanding. And I think we are missing out by not having hot scones because you always just eat an ice cold scone out of like a case. But even cold, I like them. Anyway, I think they don't get the attention they deserve. And you seldom eat them hot, but they should be eaten hot. It was not as bad for you as cake or a muffin because I think there's a little bit less sugar.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway.
You made it sound good. I want one now. Yeah. I'll find one somewhere.
They were probably really expensive though. You should know that.
They are the more expensive muffin.
Yeah, it's true. The British muffin. Okay.
My top of the cob is I rented out a movie theater for...
Yeah, what was that?
At AMC, you can rent a theater, and if you rent like a good one with reclining seats, it's like $199, $299. But guess what? I went to the scary, awful theater without reclining seats, and I paid $99 to watch The Lost City in peace. And I let my family come, but I made them sit behind me so that I wouldn't have to look at them, and I wouldn't see them jiggling their legs or chewing on Twizzlers. And I made them sit far away so that I wouldn't hear them breathing.
Okay, you're a terrible daughter. But that's really
I rented the theater and it was incredible. No one else was allowed in. It was just 1 to 20 people, could have come in. I didn't invite 20 people. I invited my 3 family members.
Who is enforcing that? Like a 15-year-old ticket taker?
I was so scared. Okay, I had a nightmare several nights before.
My mic wasn't on.
Oh, I'm sorry, folks.
It was worth it. I had a great time. No one walked in. Nobody came in because they turned off the signs. We didn't say anything. But they left the door open. So like 5 minutes in the movie, I marched down and I pulled the door closed. So
did you eat anything special?
No, I got a soda. It was 11:20 a.m. And so we got there at 11. And so I drank root beer.
What kind? Barks or IBC?
Barks.
Okay,
it's
okay,
a
okay.
Coca-Cola freestyle machine at the AMC.
Freestyle. Okay. Do your bottom and then I'll do my bottom.
My bottom is that I bid on my first house, and like all those Airbnbs, someone bought it with cash, and I bet that they're going to Airbnb it out. And so I didn't get my house that was on a lake, and now I'm going to have to live in a box in the woods.
They probably got it with cash that they made from selling Bitcoin. That's the way.
Probably they got GameStop stocks.
Listen to me. You're going to find the perfect house for you. I promise you. The house will find you. And by the way, the person that made that cash offer, like something could go wrong. Like it ain't over till it's over. So don't.
Like I can burn them down.
I'm serious. Don't take your eyes off that house because people back out all the time.
Okay.
I've done it.
Keep an eye out.
Okay. My bottom of the cob is this. And I actually, if you were a part of this, I would love to know what was going on. So I'm not going to like make fun. I'm just going to, like a journalist with the journalistic responsibility and integrity I have, report this. One of my shows, it's not uncommon for people to get engaged at my shows. And it's not uncommon for people to get engaged at the meet and greet, like with me there. Because my specials are very special to people. So we were doing a show this weekend and there was only a couple people left in the meet and greet line. And this couple approached and we like take our picture and then they kind of just stood there. And the guy looks at the girl and he just goes, okay, quietly. And he kneels down and takes out a ring. And it's not about making fun of people for like not having the money, but this was like one of those rings you get at like a mall kiosk. It almost
this can't be your bottom. They're definitely listening.
I don't know. It was like metal, like the kind where like where it would be like a dragon with like a marble in its mouth. Like it wasn't a wedding ring. He pulls it out and we all start clapping and then we kind of stop. We were like, oh, okay. And the girl just stood there. So for a second, we're all thinking like, okay, she doesn't want to do this. She was just silent. And then she gets up and she just goes, okay, yeah. And she puts it on quietly. And this guy, we're all like wanting to cheer. And I look at her and I go, are we happy? And she goes, yeah, we've been together for like 13 years. Like with this energy. And then he like ushered her out. And me and like 6 fans are just standing there like, what? What just happened? So if you were at that show, you saw that happen. If you were in line, there's only about 6 people left. It was just an odd feeling as a human to see someone get engaged and like no one, including the people who got engaged, seemed happy about it.
Right.
And I was like, are you being trafficked? He was wearing like one of those shirts that has like barbed wire painted on it. So maybe they're just like a weird couple, but I hope you guys are happy. That was very weird for me. To see someone be like, will you? And she's just like, okay.
They do listen and they go, oh, we had a great time. Like that was exactly how we wanted our proposal to go.
Or maybe it's like some sort of weird core role playing they do. I don't know.
Oh, and they propose at every show.
Oh my God. That's really funny. Just to get like a free appetizer.
Yeah. And they're like, oh, there's not enough people left here to get anything. Well, we're not as committed to it this time.
Folks, I mean, I'll tell you what, when we got engaged, everywhere we went, I was like, we just got engaged. Free ice cream, like free snacks, free chicken wings. Folks, send in your questions. We've got the answers. Send us updates, send us context, and please pre-order All Things Aside, my new book, because I'm very, very proud of it, and it's very touching, it's funny. And get tickets to see me at Iliza.com. What else can I push? Also, Save the Whales.
When you share your food, you share your heart. So what's on your table this holiday season? Save on your festive feast at Kroger with delicious deals on all the holiday classics. Or wow the crowd with something new, like a quinoa stuffed butternut squash. It's sure to add a pop of color to your spread. How about a sweet potato casserole with a crunchy oat streusel topping? made with care for the sweet tooth and the savory tooth. With Kroger, fill your table with love and watch as your guests' hearts get as full as their bellies. Kroger, fresh for everyone.
It's time to have your high five moment with High Five Casino, the top social casino where the action and real prizes never stop. Fun spins and big wins are right at your fingertips with over 1,000 games, including High Five Casino exclusives. High Five Casino is always free to play with free coins given out every 4 hours. Sign up today and get free welcome coins you can spin for a chance at cash prizes. Visit highfivecasino.com.
High Five Casino.
No purchase necessary. Void where prohibited by law. Must be 21 years or older. Terms and conditions apply.